Kindred and Curios, and welcome back to my channel. It's been a pretty chill week, but I do have some small announcements, both relating to Hemlock. After submitting my manuscript to my agent, she got back to me and told me to expect to hear about next steps within about 3 weeks. So I'm kind of on a break, I suppose, when it comes to actively writing or working, which is, it's weird. It's a weird feeling after being in crunch for what seems like so long. Not sure I'm handling it super well. It's odd. I made what I guess is a vision board, I suppose. It's got style, eye shape, real life inspirations, etc. For my two main characters, and I've sent that off to an artist friend of mine, and I'm commissioning character sketches for at least the two main characters for now. I might actually reach out to a few different artists to get some different looks. I don't know. I'm really excited about where this could go. It's gonna take a while because obviously I want to purchase high quality things and just art in general. It's a process, and I'm setting aside money for that, but I'm excited. I'm really excited. As for highlights this week, I want to talk about a few things. So on Friday night, we went to go see Megan, which, if you know me, I'm not a horror person, like, at all. I'm normally the one hiding under the covers or being like, nah, I'm good. Mostly because I have chronic nightmares, and my brain does not need fuel for that. But Megan was delightful. It was campy, it was clever, it was surprisingly heartfelt. I loved it. And for full transparency, yes, it is written by a friend of mine, but she's amazing and talented, and seriously, Akela Cooper is freaking brilliant, and I went to go see it because I love her. I will see it again because I loved the movie. The panel at Anime Los Angeles went really well. I was not sure what to expect because I'd never been to that particular con, and on a Sunday, you're never sure what you're gonna get because depending what people were doing all week, especially because it started on Thursday, I was expecting like maybe a few people. We were a pretty full room, and everyone was very engaged. They asked fantastic questions. We got to talk about how to make a fully rounded character. We got to talk about how to integrate your character's backstory in ways that sort of become the entire party's problem, so that, you know, it's not just a you moment of like in the corner, because backstory really, it informs your actions, but there are ways also to like sort of plant seedlings so that it becomes a B plot and it never overtakes anything, but you're able to engage more actively with the rest of your party. We even got to talk about emotional bleed and safety measures you should take for your own emotional care when playing a very intense, immersive game, whether it be tabletop, LARP, you name it. Los Angeles had a historic rainfall this week, to the point where we were avoiding driving, we had flooding, we were safe, but it was just a lot. So I didn't get to go out walking as much as I wanted to, but I did get to do, I made a bit of a dent in my walk to Moria, so huzzah there. And on Tuesday, when the rain was really coming down, we were actually not sure if we were gonna lose power, to be honest. But on Tuesday, I got to do our first Tuesday stream, which was a lot of fun. And I got to play WoW with my mom, and that was just delightful. You can even hear my sister on in the background a little, and just kind of having a little family, really nerdy family game night with my wife, my mom, and my sister, even though my sister was playing Elden Ring, but we were all on Discord together. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And I got to go to trivia with Angelique on Wednesday, and I haven't been able to go to trivia night in at least 6 months. It's been a while because I've been so head down in crunch, and it was just, it's so lovely to be able to like go out and do a social thing and not be thinking in the back of my brain the entire time, you should be writing. And what's crazy, and I know this isn't gonna be like astounding to anybody else, but to me I was like, huh, go figure. When you're not writing something that is actively excavating a trauma that is very personal to you, apparently you don't need to have like a big emotional like, okay, I just need to like rest and not talk to people for like months. Like, I'm excited to work on it again. I have ideas spinning around for book 2. I'm really happy about what's going on with this series, and I am also excited to get to work on the 3rd Alys book. That has not fallen to the wayside, I hope you know. And that also won't be like excavating active trauma, so huzzah to that. I'm excited. Writing is fueling me, it's giving me joy, life is good. And I think that covers everything in my normal preamble, so let's get started with today's topic.
Our apartment contains all 4 seasons, among other things. In the kitchen, you'll find the season of winter. I started by redoing the faux potted plant, which is actually a litter box, and I got a mirror that looked like a window and put some frost on it. I'm not super pleased with it, but it will do for now. And I have a garland. I've got plans for more, including icicles as well as some decorative lighting. Decorating the apartment has been extremely therapeutic over the past 2 years. It's probably one of the biggest reasons I kept sane during the pandemic, which is not surprising when you look up the stats around the practice of art therapy. On average, 45 to 50 minutes of art a day significantly lowers cortisol, the main stress hormone. It was found especially beneficial for those currently hospitalized, whether they were in for illness or surgery. So this week, I'm winterfying some spice shelves. I've got foam clay, and I'm going to use it to create fake snow, and then I'll paint it. Unfortunately, it takes about 48 hours to dry fully, so I don't think I'll be able to show you the finished product in this video, but I am going to try. One thing to keep in mind with this is to try to get it all in one piece, because adding as you go means smoothing out seams, and smoothing seams with foam clay is difficult. Depending how it dries, I may need to use a fine grit sandpaper to smooth out anything that doesn't quite look like snow. Art therapy has existed in various forms since, well, probably cave drawings. But as a formalized structure in medical practice, it really began to find its feet in the mid-1900s. The term is said to be coined by a British artist by the name of Adrian Hill in the 1940s. Early formalized art therapy during this time was used as a part of the treatment of tuberculosis patients. Unfortunately, in those days, the formal treatment boiled down to locking the infected and contagious patient in a sanatorium. These facilities acted as a combination of inpatient care and quarantine center, especially during spikes and outbreaks. Doctors noticed that the quarantine patients who expressed themselves through drawing and painting seemed to suffer less overall. By engaging in an artistic process and expressing themselves through a visual medium, they experienced a level of interactivity that their confinement didn't otherwise allow. Medical staff observed that the creation of art provided a healthy emotional release that was extremely beneficial to the recovery process. It was because of studies with these patients that not only was art therapy adopted and formalized by mental hospitals and other institutions throughout Europe, but by 1964, the British Association of Art Therapists had established itself in the United Kingdom. The American Art Therapy Association would be founded 5 years later in 1969. More organizations around the world modeled themselves after these associations, including the Professional Association for Art Therapy in Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore, which has evolved in practice and geographic scope since its inception in 1987. As more ground was gained in the field of art therapy, it grew important roots in the field of education and approaches used in child psychotherapy. By employing art therapy within the therapeutic process, children were able to express feelings through their art in times of underdeveloped or limited vocabulary. Over the years, medical professionals have found art beneficial for a multitude of applications, including but not limited to nonverbal patients expressing themselves, PTSD patients or patients struggling with grief, abuse, or trauma, anxiety patients, connecting subconscious thought patterns, even in the treatment of eating disorders. Between my day job, writing, streaming, and editing videos, I spend a lot of time on the computer. And I found that my own mental health improves greatly if I'm able to spend a little time each week away from it doing something with my hands, whether it's creating art around my home or even cleaning. It's also why I try to get out of the house and go for a walk whenever I can, even if it's just a little one. What kind of art therapy would you like to incorporate more in your life?
All right, so here we have it. It's gotta dry. And then once it dries, I should have started this earlier in the week, but I just didn't have time. But once this dries, it'll take about 24 to 48 hours. Once it dries, I have some iridescent white paint that I'm gonna really blend in to sort of make it look like there's an ice. And then I also have some, is it called buffalo snow? It's those little fake crystals of snow that you see sometimes that I'm gonna also lightly glue down with Mod Podge to really give it that icy texture. I'm really excited. And I probably won't be able to show this to you by Friday, but it should appear at least in the next week's video. And I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to get to this earlier. I'm also sorry that for some reason my camera is refusing to stay in focus. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll share some of the crafts that maybe you do for your mental health, or, I don't know, give me ideas for what I should try next. Keep on the windy side of Kiri, Kindred, and until next time, stay curious.